Thank you. Many cities around the country and in California are updating their general plans along the same lines of trying to bring in more high-density housing, trying to restrict people from using their cars, same kind of themes, and I would encourage us to make our own decisions. I've asked many times, I've gone to the meetings, the public solicitations meeting and the various steering committee meetings. I've asked the question, what do we want to change in Redlands? And no one has even attempted to answer that question. We have a great city. What do we want to change? So if we're doing this general plan, what do we want to change? I saw the revised elements. And I think if you look at these elements, these themes are vague enough that you could pert near do anything you wanted to. Because you can find some support under some theme, under some topic somewhere to do whatever you want to do. And maybe that's the goal, is to come up with a plan at the end of this process that it doesn't tie your hands. It lets you do whatever you want to, but maybe then why bother? Why go through the process to begin with? I know that under the livable community, they put in transit-oriented development, which is high-rise, stack and pack housing around train stations. It was just put in. It hasn't been discussed by the committee, hasn't been brought up, hasn't been discussed. What do we want? How much? How high? We're just put in. That's kind of the top-down agenda that we shouldn't automatically accept. We also talk about transportation efficiency. Let me find my paper on that one. 1 second. Oh. Perhaps unintentionally, the students from the University of Redlands did a little test on how to get around by the in vogue alternative means of transportation, walking and biking and taking the bus. They're going to test how long it took to get from the U of R to the Stater Brothers store by these various means. They walked on the Orange Blossom Trail. It took 21 minutes at 88 degrees. They took the bus, 32 minutes, one way. They walked on Lagonia Avenue, 29 minutes, one way. They biked. It was 90 degrees, a little warm that day for biking, 24 minutes to get to the store. And of course, it's very hard to carry many groceries on the bus, walking, or on your bike. So it's directly contrary to the idea of efficient transportation. Yet that seems to be the in thing these days in city planning, is to get people out of their cars into more inefficient transportation. People's time, not just people up here, out here, is valuable, and you should maintain efficient transportation. Sustainability, what does it mean? Still just a very vague definition. Are we sustainable now? If not, what has to change, and who gets to make that decision? That should be answered before we go down the process of just saying sustainability, and then someone else gets to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Britton.
Yeah.
Mr. Saucedo. Mr. Saucedo will be followed by Bill Miller.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I'm Mario Saucedo. I've been to just about every of the steering committee's meetings except for one. One I watched on Channel 3, so thank you for that. But what I've been hearing throughout, one theme that's pretty consistent, and Mr. Clark outlined it, is unifying the city so that we're not divided a city, and then the economic prosperity of the city. And so what I would like to see, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear, without being a part of the planning steering committee or any alternates, that there was much discussion about wanting to unify North and South Redlands, which was very nice to hear that there is the sense among the people there that have been there are talking about what ways to unify this city, what ways to be able to take advantage of the economic opportunities that are out there, and not to focus so much on downtown, that there are other areas throughout the city, west, the Tri-City, other areas, or business corridors. So I would only hope to see that any regulations or ordinances or rezoning or land uses, that they're applied to where the need is the most, or the optimal opportunity for economic development, so that there is no disparating sites as you go from north to south or east to west. And so I think the committee is well on its way of doing a real good job, and I hope to continue to participate as a member of the public and interject those opportunities when and where we can. So pleasantly surprised and to hear that there is a theme that the citizens of that committee are looking to unify this community. And there have been many folks within this community that have been voicing that concern for a number of years, and now hopefully with this opportunity of updating the general plan, that maybe some of those recommendations out of the visioning plan can be adopted, or at least looked into for further refinement, so that we are able to take advantage of our economic prosperity and our community prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salcido. Mr. Miller?
I'm happy to hear that it seems like a lot of people out there really understand what this is. I have been having a lot of difficulty with it, especially finding some continuity between what the surveys came up with versus what we wound up with these themes. That's about the only thing I can attack here, I guess, is to say, first of all, how do we know that all of the mandatories have been taken care of? I don't see that on here. Maybe it's there. I don't see it. I look at a priority like economic prosperity, and I see that identified up here in the second line down, prosperous. I don't find it anywhere else in there. I look at strong neighborhoods, which was the second item, and that's the third item on a list here for livable community. The vibrant downtown is fifth on the list of distinctive city, and these were priorities that were established, all right, in the surveys, that they seem to have gotten lost somewhere as far as what the people were suggesting. Now we're into these themes, and which is different than what we started with. So I'm having a real difficult time finding continuity here, and I don't know where we're going. Evidently, you all do, and if so, I just kind of hope that in the next meeting tomorrow that there's a little explanation about how this thing is being put together. I realize that you have the ability to come up with a thematic way of putting it together, but at the same time, there is no written process as to how you're going to go through this thematic, whereas we do have a written process in the guide provided to us by the state. And I really don't know why we deviated from that. This is far more confusing than what the state's ideas are. The other thing is, I was trying to, he had a slide up there. I don't know what happened to it, but anyhow, there was two items on the thing. I guess I'll just summarize by saying it's terribly complicated to me. I don't understand where we're going. I don't understand where we've been, to be honest with you. I don't know what the idea was for the plan or the vision statement for the first one. Haven't been able to find it. All right, don't know whether we accomplished anything or we didn't. I know we talked about north and south, and here we are talking again.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
I don't have any other speaker slips on this matter. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council on this topic? Okay. Let's see. We'll close the public hearing and return to the council for discussion and possible action.